My brothers and sisters of Burkina Faso, my people of Africa, and those watching from every corner of this planet, look at us now. They said we were too poor to dream, too weak to build, too dependent to rise. But here we are, turning wood into wheels and poverty into power. They mocked us. They said, "You Africans can't create." But what they didn't understand is that creativity is born not in comfort, but in struggle. When they closed the doors of their factories to us, we built our own workshops. When they denied us steel, we shaped the wood from our own trees. And when they laughed at our vision, we smiled. Because we knew that one day, the sound of our engines would silence their mockery. Today our young people, barefoot and fearless, are building cars made of wood that move, shine, and inspire the entire world. Not because we have everything, but because we have the courage to begin with nothing. Look at these cars, my people. They are not just vehicles, they are symbols. Symbols of a nation refusing to bow. Symbols of Africa rediscovering its soul. Symbols of a future where no child will be told, "You can't." We are teaching the world that progress is not measured by the color of your machines, but by the strength of your will. The West has their steel. We have our spirit. And spirit, my friends, cannot be colonized. When they took our gold, we mined our faith. When they stole our land, we planted our hope. When they chained our ancestors, we broke those chains with our blood. And now, when they try to sell us their cars, we tell them, "Keep your luxury, we have dignity." Every young man and woman working on these wooden cars is proving something sacred, that Africa can stand, walk, and drive on her own wheels. This is not just innovation, it is revolution. We are not building wooden cars because we lack metal. We are building them because we refuse to lack pride. The whole world will know, even with our bare hands, we can create what others create with machines. The same spirit that carved these cars from wood is the spirit that will carve a new destiny for Burkina Faso. A destiny where we are no longer beggars at the table of those who exploited us for centuries, but builders of our own civilization. Our wooden cars may not yet roar like theirs, but they carry something more powerful than an engine. They carry freedom. Freedom from the mindset that says we must wait for others to save us. Freedom from the lie that says Africa's best days are behind her. No, our best days are rising right now in our streets, in our schools, in our workshops, in the hearts of our people. And to the youth listening to me, remember this: you don't need permission to create. You don't need approval to innovate. The world may doubt you, but your soil does not. The land of Africa gives you everything you need: your brain, your hands, your courage. If we can build a car from wood, imagine what we can build from unity. Imagine what Africa can become when her sons and daughters believe again in their own greatness. Let the world laugh, because every revolution begins with laughter and ends with respect. One day soon they will come here asking how we did it. They will study us, they will quote us. They will realize that innovation does not belong to the rich, it belongs to the brave. I say this to every Burkinab, every African. Do not be ashamed of simplicity. Be ashamed of dependence. Let the simplicity of your creation be your strength. Because the first wooden car of Burkina Faso is more than wood. It is the heartbeat of a nation refusing to die. We are proving that poverty is not a curse. It is a challenge. And we have accepted that challenge with pride, with courage, and with the fire of our ancestors burning in our hearts. So let the winds carry this message far beyond our borders, that a small nation, once ignored, is now teaching the world the meaning of resilience. That a people once colonized are now driving their own destiny. And to those who still think Africa must kneel, look again. Burkina Faso is standing tall. We are building. We are moving. We are creating. We are not waiting for the world to give us a seat at their table. We are building our own table, with our own wood, and driving our own future upon it. Because this is our time. This is our moment. This is the new Africa. An Africa that dares to dream and dares to build with her own hands. May the world see our wooden cars and understand they are not the symbol of what we lack. They are the symbol of who we are: strong, creative, free. Long live Burkina Faso. Long live Africa. The age of dependence is over. The age of African creation has begun. The first main point is the rebirth of African creativity and pride through struggle. Ibrahim Traoré emphasizes that true innovation is not born from comfort, but from hardship. When the world mocked Africa for its poverty, it was that very poverty that ignited the spirit of creation. By turning wood into cars, the people of Burkina Faso proved that progress does not depend on wealth, but on willpower. This message carries a deep truth, that when external powers close their doors, Africans build their own paths. Traoré's vision celebrates the resourcefulness of a people who transform limitation into liberation. The wooden cars are more than inventions, they are symbols of defiance, proving that the African mind, when free, can build anything from nothing. The second point is the rejection of dependency and the embrace of self-reliance. Traoré's words challenge the colonial mindset that conditioned Africans to look outward for progress. By building cars with their own hands, Burkina youth show that dignity does not come from foreign aid, but from self-effort. The message is clear: freedom begins when we stop begging and start creating. Traoré reminds his people that true independence is not just political, but mental. It's the courage to believe in one's ability to stand alone. These wooden cars drive a new idea that self-reliance is the highest form of power. The third point is the spiritual and symbolic power of these wooden cars. They represent much more than transportation. They are the moving embodiment of freedom and African identity. Traoré's speech transforms them into living metaphors of resistance and hope. When the world sees wood, he sees willpower. When others see simplicity, he sees strength. These cars are the heartbeat of a nation, proving that progress does not require imitation of the West. The cars carry the soul of a people rediscovering pride in their land, their hands, and their heritage. They tell the world that Africa's value is not in its minerals, but in its spirit. The fourth point is the awakening of African youth to believe in their power to innovate. Traoré speaks directly to them, urging them to stop waiting for permission or approval. He tells them that their minds and hands are their greatest resources. Through his passionate words, he calls on the youth to rise, to create, and to reclaim the legacy of their ancestors who once built empires and civilizations. He shows them that their soil, their trees, their ideas, everything they need is already within reach. This is a message of empowerment, that every young African can shape destiny with courage and unity. The fifth point is Africa's transformation from dependence to leadership. Traoré declares that this is the new Africa, one that no longer asks for a seat at the table, but builds its own. Through the example of Burkina Faso's wooden cars, he paints a future where Africa becomes the teacher, not the student. The continent's simplicity becomes its strength, its humility becomes its wisdom, and its independence becomes its power. This is the turning point he envisions, where the world finally sees that Africa's innovations, no matter how humble, carry the seed of a greater revolution, the rise of a continent that will never kneel again.